And we're back here at Boom and Bust. I'm talking to Ves Sobot. He is a business leader as well as executive director of the Concerned Coalition of Manufacturers and Businesses Canada. Ves, want to talk about the state of manufacturing in Canada, maybe specifically Ontario. What's your read on what's going on with our manufacturers these days?
Getting harder and harder to compete. The carbon tax has really put a dent in operations. All manufacturers use a great deal of energy, and the carbon tax has been something that's been imposed on Canada, but not imposed on the United States or other countries. So we seem to be bearing that burden all on our own, and that's very bad for competitiveness. The consumer has felt a respite in the carbon tax because of this election, because of the Axe the Tax campaign that the Conservatives have pushed and the Liberals have finally implemented. But what we're really worried about is that tax is going to be put on industry permanently.
Mm.
And even though the consumer might not see it on their on the front face, they will be paying for it in the end because manufacturers have to pass that tax on.
Yeah, you tell us a little bit more about that. What are some of the comparative disadvantages? You mentioned the carbon tax, of course, but there may be others that manufacturers in Canada face versus manufacturers in the U.S.
Well, our electricity rates are substantially higher
Right.
than the Americans, and that's another key input component to all operations. So, as long as our hydro rates are substantially higher than America's, we have a problem. The other thing, too, to remember is the Americans seem to be much more business friendly. They
Mhm.
have programs and incentives to bring Canadian business down to the United States. We don't have the same sort of programs and incentives. And uh, President Trump has now incentivized Canadian manufacturers to come into the United States and set up shop there because, of course, you'll avoid any tariffs if you do so, and that's going to be difficult for Canada to deal with. Without manufacturing, you don't have a viable country, and unfortunately, the Liberal policies have made manufacturing harder in Canada over the last 10 years, not easier.
And it could get even more complex because if Donald Trump, he's talking about a massive corporate tax cut in a large bill that would go before Congress in the next few months. That I guess that's on the horizon too. We're just not competitive, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And take a look at our regulations too.
Mm.
Most people don't realize that, Canada's in breach of some USMCA clauses. For example, the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment is implementing a plastics registry in September of 2025. What does that mean? Anybody who supplies plastics into Canada has to register with their product, with the details of their product, with the government, sort of like a
Mm.
gun registry.
Mm.
And that breaches Chapter 24, Section 2.5.4 of the current USMCA agreement. So those folks who think that it's the Americans that are causing
Right.
all these problems with trade, uh, take a closer look. No, we have 1,400 tariffs on the books. We have environmental regulations that are making it difficult for the Americans to ship product into Canada. This is a two-way street. Fair trade goes both ways. We need to be very cognizant of the two-way relationship and see if we can get rid of any of those trade irritants as quickly as possible.
Got it. No, that makes total sense. What else? I mean, obviously, you hear from your members all the time. What else are your members telling you, telling the Concerned Coalition of Manufacturers and Businesses right now?
Well, the big one is Bill C-69,
Mm.
which is impeding pipeline production and development right across Canada. And truly, Tony, I think you'd agree with me that Canada should be the richest country in the world. We have extraordinary resources. We have a small population. Our GDP per capita should exceed any other countries in the world, and it's not. And it's
Mhm.
because the government has been restricting our ability to find and bring to market our own resources. It would be wonderful if that impediment would be removed after April 28th.